Good evening. I am Tony Dottino, and just proud to say I'm the founder of the USA Memory Championship. And at the end of this broadcast, I'll give you an update on the virtual event that we're doing on November the 14th, which is just like exceeding everyone's expectations. But for tonight, I just doing a lot of reading over the weekend and even reading today. The COVID-19 is just testing and challenging people probably like they've never been tested and or challenged in their whole life. And what I mean by that, it's more and more people now. When we started in March and April, we thought, oh, well, by the summer it would be okay, and we'd get a few months off, and then we'd pick up the craziness again in the flu season, October, November, if we were lucky. Well, there's been no break. And there's no break in the science right now in terms of there's no magic pills, there's no easy answers. What's the best thing you can do? Now, in this week's weekend's report, I saw where the virus can sustain on certain surfaces for up to 28 days. Masking, the battle goes back and forth. Do you wear a mask? Do you not wear a mask? You should have a mask that's double. You can't feel your breath if you blow through it. And the uncertainty of it is just one of the brain principles that we wrote about in our Grassroots Leader book, which is our brain craves completeness when given incomplete information. And so how do you help people understand that this is part of what we are naturally born to want to have answers to? Right? So we're so used to, I've got a problem, I got a puzzle, I want to get a solution to it, I got to solve the problem, I got to solve the puzzle. And we keep pushing this out and out as science continues to try to find the vaccines or the right medicines and things for it. So we got hit this past week with two of the companies that were working on the vaccine have suspended their studies for whatever reasons now. So there's uncertainty playing again. And the more that we continue to have uncertainty, the more it builds anxiety, and it creates more vulnerability in people. They feel more vulnerable to this unknown, this ghost that filters about us. Does it show up in little droplets now? They're talking more and more about the little droplets in the air, which hangs out in closed spaces a lot longer and worse than in spaces where you're outside and what have you. So where is it safe? Do we walk around with a bubble over our heads and over our bodies? And do we all have to go get PPE equipment and protect ourselves from anybody or anything that walks by us? So that's one of the issues that we've been talking about here on Live with Tony throughout the year, because what we know for all of us is we crave completeness when having incomplete information. And this is crucial information to us. This is what protects our well-being in our life. And we add on top of that, is there going to be a stimulus bill passed so that we have some source of income for people that have been unemployed and are struggling to figure out how do they pay their bills, how do they provide food for their families, how do we pull all of this together? And then the one that's just showing up as well as the uncertainty is this whole notion of social interactions can help you beat loneliness, right? So how do we maintain a level of social interactions? And that's another one of our brain principles that we know all about, which is social interaction is one of the hard wires of human beings and human growth in terms of our brain health. And yet we're being challenged more and more to be very distant and very careful about people that we are close to and how close we are in terms of social distancing. So we've got all these different elements that are coming at us. And what do we do about this? How do we deal with all these issues? Now, I want to just cover a couple of them tonight, because we could spend a whole night on this, and unfortunately I don't have answers other than I can try to coach and help people navigate through a totally uncertain period of time. And, you know, the sad part for me is we tend to be in this who do we blame world today. Who gets blamed for whatever happens? And in this case, I don't know that there's a finger that goes to anybody. And what really needs to happen is what do we do to deal with this, and how do we move forward? How do we help people that are in a state of loneliness? We have a dear friend who's been in assisted living. They've been quarantined for months. She maintains an incredible positive attitude. We get on the phone with her at least once or twice a week. We try to chat with her. She doesn't have Zoom. She doesn't do FaceTime. So we talk to her and we have conversations and we try to bring different things back into play, and we try to relive some of the pleasant experiences that we've had with her over the years, and therefore try to keep her spirits up, as difficult as it is. In the assisted living, they at least now bring her outside a couple of times a week. So she's, again, do we get outside? Do we want to just get out and breathe some fresh air? And I'm seeing more and more people who are looking for what I call hideaway getaways, meaning where can they go hide for 3 or 4 days and just get away from their own houses or residences or condos or townhouses or apartments, where they just get out and they have their own space. Which brings me to one of the tips that I keep giving to people that I'm not sure that they're all following, which is a 30-minute break every day. Just get out for 30 minutes. So I did that today. I was in one of those modes today where 30 minutes I put on an oldies music station on TV, and 2 hours later I was still listening to oldies. Didn't get much done, but at least I felt like I can get on my Live with Tony broadcast and be somewhat coherent and positive. And that only goes to say we're all in a cycle right now where we're all in this together. There is not a class that gets exempted or excused from this. And even as you look at the numbers, right, you know, if you're over 65, well, I could follow in that class. But in the middle of all that, what we wanted to do was have a virtual memory championship. So on November 14th, we decided what can we do to get the people, at least get their minds focused on something that's constructive? How do we get this notion of loneliness and bring an event to a wider base of people that do not have to travel? We're learning to do Zooms and virtuals, and so here we go. Videos can help. So we're going to have an event where we're going to have some videos of some people, and that's we're going to share that with the mental athletes that are competing, and they're going to have to remember the information that's contained in those videos. And what's amazing is anybody watching the event on the 14th of November can partake in listening to these videos that we'll have taped, that will then show to all of the mental athletes that are in the final event. And anybody that wants to be a spectator in that can get on, see it, and be a part of it. So it's exciting, but it's taken a lot of work. So there is work involved in getting who the guest will be that we're going to interview, and then we're going to tighten that up so that we have it on a recording so we can fit it into the proper schedule we have for that particular event, and then have some fun with it. I mean, the whole purpose of the virtual competition is for people to be a part of it and enjoy it and observe. You want to be a spectator, but for the people that are going to be a part of it, to have some fun, get a chance to test their skills in terms of where they sit on the hierarchy of things, if they're interested in doing that. But this one's not about who's going to be the winner. This one's about, let's give as many people as want to be participants an opportunity to talk to people, see people, watch an event that's not on TV. It'll be on Zoom in a way that at least encourages, let's use what we've got up here, and let's see if there are things we can learn to continue to maintain our cognitive fitness and our mental health, no matter what our age, no matter what sex we are, what nationality, that we can all learn some things to improve our mental fitness. And so if anybody wants to take a look, go to the USAMemoryChampionship.com website, USAMemoryChampionship.com website, And in that, you'll see there's a fabulous course that you can take if you want. It's called Maximum Memory Mastery. And we guarantee people that sign up for it that don't find it provide value, we give them their money back. It's not an issue of doing that. But we're doing very well with the sign-ups. So we're over 500 people right now that are signing up. And we're still moving. We're still, new people are coming in every day. Our registration closes October 31st. And then we've got some work to do to test things out and make sure over the next 2 weeks after 31st, we have everything in order, so we have as close to a fluid event on the 14th as we possibly have, recognizing that we've got multiple players involved and none of us have ever done this before. So we're asking our competitors to realize, hey, this is it's an exhibition, we're going to try it out. There's not a prize that's given out for this particular event, but I wanted to make sure we had a memory competition in 2020, despite all the craziness. So in this little world of uncertainty, we've had a lot of people asking us, what were we going to do, what were we going to do? We've got it all together, and what we're going to do is have a competition event on November the 14th from 1 until 5. And go to the USAMemoryChampionship.com website, and it'll fill you in on any other details that you've got. So until tomorrow afternoon, have a good evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.